Hey guys, it's Adam Lavelle from KnuckleTFUp.com. That's KnuckleTFUp.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. I put a lot of work into it. I'm just trying to get the word out there about some of these incredible companies that just make combat sports the best that they can be, including Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. We're going to talk about their show from BUDVA that just happened last night. Now, I know there's some controversy with it because it was supposed to be live and there were thunderstorms and wind and it caused all kinds of havoc, and they were unable to broadcast the show live. And there was a bunch of questions. People didn't know what happened. Why wasn't it on there? You did find the answer on Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships X page, their Twitter page, if you will. So hard to get used to calling that X. That told everybody why it wasn't available on DAZN or the BKFC app or what have you. I was one of the many sitting there waiting for it to start. I was on the edge of my seat. I'm waiting for this. Here comes this live event from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And then it just vanished. I'm on DAZN and it just disappears like it never existed. It's like, what's going on? So I scrambled. I went to their social media. I found the answer. Some of you did. Many of you did as well. Some people were very unhappy about this, which I get. You were ready. You were prepared. You had some drinks. You had some friends, and you were ready to watch this show live. You were ready to sit down and enjoy it. And now it's not going to happen. And it would be broadcast at a future date. And everyone's like, what the hell does that mean? Tonight? Next week? 6 months from now? What's a future date? Nobody knew. Well, then the announcement came out that it was going to be around 7 p.m. Well, come 10, 11 p.m., there's still no show. I'm a little frustrated, but I'm not the type. I like the company enough that I'm not going to lose my shit and insult them and say, I'm never going to watch again, or anything ridiculous like that. But I'm a little irritated. I'm like, okay, it's late. At this point, I'm going to watch this tomorrow when it does come out, but I would still like to know when. And it was around 11:30, I think closer to 11:30, that, okay, it's available on the BKFC app right now. Then you got DAZN people, the people who have DAZN, DAZN app, and so it's not on here? No, it wasn't on there. I guess it's going to be on there in a future date. So some people just completely blew this show off and said, I'm not going to worry about it. And if that's their choice, that's their choice. I knew I still wanted to see it, so I watched it this afternoon around 11:30 a.m. instead of p.m., if you will. And that's what we're going to discuss right now. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship Fight Night BUDVA from August 30th, 2025. I watched it in the afternoon because of all the mess I just talked about. The first fight was Alfred Kochi taking on Christian Jevtovic. This is a very active first round. Both guys came out, landed punches. Kochi was knocked down right away in the first round, but he jumped right back up. But that likely gave Jevtovic the round. So Jevtovic wins the round more than likely. Well, pretty much definitely because of the knockdown, even though it seemed like a flash knockdown. And he got right back up. Kochi got right back up. Still, he was knocked down. Now, we're going into round two. It was more action from both guys, but Kochi's mouthpiece kept falling out. I'm talking 3-4 times at least, and I don't mean punched at. I mean, he's just fighting, boop, out it comes. Boop, out it comes. And the referee's like, dude, you have to control this. You need to bite down. So the question became, is his jaw broken? I don't know what's going on here. I mean, why is Kochi's mouthpiece constantly, we can't bite down on it or something? And then before the end of that round, Jetovic fell out once as well. It's kind of odd. But it was a very solid round, similar to the first round. Both guys nailing all kinds of shots and strikes, and the blood is flowing on both of them. So it's a pretty good, solid fight. I don't know who's winning at this point, other than the one knockdown that I told you about earlier. It's been pretty even besides that. Round three started with more phone booth fighting, meaning both guys were very close together, right on top of each other, boom, 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 pounding each other, doing everything they could. And Kochi landed a hard, straight right to Jetovic, who turned and ran to the opposite ropes. Bam! He got jacked up a little bit. He did not fall down. He turned and not sprinted, but more than jogged to the opposite side of the squared circle, if you will. And it was kind of odd to see that. Kochi's like, okay, hell, I'm going to chase him. He's chasing him with his fists up. I'm going to hammer him, And the ref stops in between and, calls that a physical surrender. So Alfred Kochi wins, defeats his opponent, Kajan Jetovic, in the third round. It was an odd ending. I mean, why he wouldn't just take a knee where he'd get the 8 count. Maybe he could have recovered by 8, but no, I guess he just freaked out. He was hit that hardly, maybe on a jaw that was already broken because of his mouthpiece falling out as many times as it did. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I just know that it was a solid first fight that saw Kochi win by TKO. I think it was off to a decent start here. Other than the mouthpiece thing, it was a pretty solid matchup. Next up was Dennis Gonzalez taking on Enrique Golson. Round one saw Golson control the pace as Gonzalez constantly backed up, covering his face. He's just constantly backing up, holding his arms. He's defending his face. I don't mean, yeah, you do that in bare knuckle. Of course you do. Who wants broken teeth and jaws and noses, right? Nobody. Orbital bones, you'd like to keep them. But no, this guy was guarding his face more than it is typical. I mean, just the whole fight. I don't want to do that a whole lot. I'm blocking my microphone. But the whole fight, practically, he's doing that. It's very strange. So Golson definitely controlled this over Gonzalez, who was constantly guarding his face. Gonzalez was not using his height or his reach. This guy was taller and had a much, I think, 4 or 5 inch longer reach. He wasn't using it. He was letting the shorter guy come in and do what he had to do, I mean, credit to the shorter guy, but he came in and boom, 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 hit and retreated. And it was kind of strange watching Gonzalez allow this to happen. But that's what happened almost the whole entire fight as well. So Golson easily won round one, in my opinion. Round two was more total domination from Golson. While Gonzalez threw a little more than he did in the first round, more time than not, he's backing away. I thought, okay, he's going to try to respond. He wants to do the kind of fight where he waits on what his opponent's going to do, and then he's going to respond to it. But no, he didn't really do that either. I don't want to paint the picture that this guy, Gonzalez, didn't do anything, because he did. He threw shots. I'm not saying he didn't try, because he did, but I don't know what the strategy was. Not using the reach and the height advantage was strange to me. I guess he just couldn't. I mean, the bottom line is Golson rushed in so much, but that's when the taller, lankier guy's supposed to step back and hammer, right? This guy's coming in, and I'm doing it to the camera here. Pretty soon, you're just going to back away and use your long arm to punch me in the nose, right? Didn't happen very much here. Golson really just controlled it. Gonzalez went down 3 times in this round, in the third round, I believe it was, and the win goes to Golson by TKO. It was a solid fight, mostly by Enrique Golson, who showed bold, brutal aggressiveness, and I don't know what Gonzalez was doing, other than not really using much of a strategy. And not for me to talk about strategy. I'm not a fighter. I don't train in a gym. I don't know anything about it other than what I see and read and learn, but I don't know. Something seemed messed up with Gonzalez here. And he went down. Next up, we had Emre Akbaz taking on Gorichkan Rigi. I was kind of rooting for him, not because I know anything about him at all, but I so wanted to say at the end of this fight that he got Rigi with it. No. But no, that wasn't to happen. The first round was solid. Akbaz was a little more aggressive and driving the fight, okay? He really was. Emre Akbaz drove the fight. This was similar to the last one in that way. In the first round, he was making it go every round here. He was making it go wherever he wanted it to go, the fight meaning. Rigi countering and biding his time, maybe, looking for a shot. Again, biding, measuring, trying to get a feel, maybe, I guess. It looked like Akbaz got a knockdown on Rigi, but it was ruled a slip. I don't know, man. I'm not here to question the refs. But I'm questioning the refs. It looked like a knockdown to me, but it was rolled a slip. Akbaz won the first round, in my opinion, just based on his aggressiveness. Okay? Round 2 saw a much more aggressive Akbaz knock Rigi down twice. Now, these were knockdowns. Rigi went down twice. But Akbaz hit Rigi when he was down in one of those 2 times. He was excited. He kept going, hammered him when he was down. We had a fairly long timeout, a couple minutes anyway, and he lost 2 points for this. Akbaz lost 2 points, boy. So how do you score that round? 2 knockdowns. Way to go, buddy. 2 points. Pretty much negates it, right? Those where it might be a 10-8 round, now it's what? I don't know. Well, how do you score that? 10-9 for the other guy? The guy that got knocked down twice? I'd be interested if any of you know. Comment here and say, how do you score a round where, say, I'm in the round and I knocked my opponent down twice, but then got a 2-point penalty? How was that round scored? I don't know. That was very interesting. So right after the first knockdown where he got the foul, the penalty, the 2 points, he knocks him down again fairly. Even backs up and says, I'm not touching him this time. But still, 2 knockdown, 2-point penalty. I don't know. Shortly into round 3, a doctor is called to take a look at Rigi's face. And due to a severe cut, it's stopped. It's over. And the winner is Emre Akbaz here. And a pretty good fight. I thought it was kind of one-sided, but not the total domination. You know, I'm not saying that Gorich Khan Rigi was completely dominated, but he clearly lost the fight. It was entertaining to see. It's always kind of when the doctor has to stop it, but hey, we can't have fighters injured. So it was what it was. Again, Emre Akbaz wins a good, decent. Okay, after this, we're looking at Isam Kawi taking on Ahmet Duman. A decent first round here. Duman got busted open in the forehead from a shot overall, but anything other than that, not much happened. I said it was a decent round because the guys went at it a little bit. There was no flurries. There was no major fisticuffs going on here. A lot of measuring, a lot of setting the pace, but at the same time, they did fire shots off. Like I said, so much that Duman got busted open. It wasn't flowing like a river, but, you know, a little more than a pap smear, if you will. Isam Kawi was much more aggressive in round 2 and scored a knockdown and even got more aggressive after that. Once he got the knockdown, man, Cowie was even more into it. Much better fight in the second round. Cowie easily wins round 2. Round 3 looked more like round 1. Sort of slowed down, sort of feeling the pace again. I don't know why. I don't know why Isam Cowie isn't pressing the pace more in round 3. I don't. But it wasn't terrible, but it looked more like round 1, like I said. But every time Dunham came in the pocket and got a strike, Cowie turned 2 or 3 of them on him. So Isam would come in, get a strike, and Cowie, boom, 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 3. So it was like 3-1. So it really wasn't helping much for as Cowie was returning strikes, no matter what Dunham was doing here. Okay, Dunham picked up his pace and landed more shots, but Cowie landed more effective shots. Dunham needs a KO to win this fight at this point. Really does. If this doesn't happen, Cowie easily wins him. Dunham tried throwing hard shots, but I thought he may have been more I thought he would have been more desperate than he was. He didn't really come across. I'm not saying he didn't want to win the fight. I think he was protecting himself from being knocked out, but at the same time trying to throw hard shots. It didn't work out at all. I don't know how the judges are going to see this, but I think it's a clear, easy victory here because Dunham just didn't do enough. I don't see how Cowie doesn't win this, and I was pretty much correct this time. I'm not always. The judges saw it how I saw it, and Isam Cowie easily wins by unanimous decision. The next fight was Yezme Dursky taking on Donovan Desme. Lots of feeling out here. Range finding the first 2/3 of the match. I'm just going to say it, guys. I didn't enjoy this fight. Okay? I didn't enjoy this fight. I didn't take a lot of notes on it because there wasn't much fighting to be had. Just taking a look at the strikes here, and I know we're jumping way ahead because I watched it, but I couldn't bring myself to care much about this fight. I just, no offense to Yezme Dursky or Donovan Desme. No offense. They're badass fighters, much bigger, badder, tougher guys than me, but I didn't enjoy this. It was a bunch of pacing. It was a bunch of measuring. It was a bunch of trying to get the feel. All 5 rounds. The 5th round was the best of them all. They fought a little bit more, but overall, take a look at these stats. Dursky landed 87 strikes, or threw 87, landed 87 strikes, a 47% accuracy. Desme landed 54 strikes with a 65% accuracy. So altogether, the accuracy between these two was just barely over 100. If 2 guys can't throw 100% combined, what's that telling you? And how many strikes did they throw together? 140? Is that horrible? No, remember, guys, that's together. That's not one of them. 54 strikes to 87 strikes, 47% to 65%. Wasn't a bad fight. I'm not saying, man, this was a stinker. Get these guys, don't ever bring these guys back. I'm not saying anything like that. But I'm telling you, watching the fighting I do, and I look, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, I love it. Obviously, look at that title belt. Look at the banner. Look at the $200 and some jacket I've got, my satin jacket that I personally had made. I'm not bragging about that. I'm just telling you, when I tell you that I didn't like a fight in one of my favorite promotions, there's a reason for it. These guys fought the style they wanted, I guess. I guess. But it wasn't the style I wanted, and they are beholden to me, but I'm the guy talking about it, and I'm telling you how I see it. This one almost put me to sleep. Just being factual here. And the next fight honestly didn't help that feeling too much. It wasn't a bad fight again, but we're talking about the ladies, okay? Millie Anchovich took on Deborah Melhorn. Melhorn strategy, apparently, I don't know if this is her style all the time, but here, she wanted to fight at close range. She wanted to fight in a phone booth. She wanted to clinch, and that's what she did, by God. Melhorn advanced and advanced and advanced, which sounds like good, right? Sounds like it would be good stuff. No. She advanced until they were chest to chest. And that's how 90% of this fight was fought. Chest to chest. Clinching, corners, ropes. Now, both of them busted the hell out of each other's faces. I mean, you look at their faces, you're like, Adam, that had to be a hell of a fight. And in regard to hitting each other in the face in close range, yeah, I guess. But you want to sit there and watch two people just do this all fight? Because that's what it was. That's what it was. Again, I'm not telling you that they're bad. And it's clear that Melhorn's strategy won the day. She wins by unanimous decision because she was the one advancing the whole time. Now, I'm not telling you that Millie was bad at all. She wasn't. But she got trapped in Melhorn's game and lost. And it was better than the fight before it. The strikes were higher. The percentage landed were much higher. So it was absolutely better than the fight before this. But again, watching some people clinch and get those little tight shots in a clinch is cool as part of the fight. But when all 5 rounds of a fight are nothing but chest-to-chest combat, it's not real exciting to watch. It's just not. I'm not saying the fight before this, I think, was not a great fight. The guys have skill and talent, but the fight just wasn't great. This was a decent fight, but the style that they utilized for all 5 rounds was just not my thing again. 2 in a row. So I'm left hoping this next fight is off the charts. And the next fight was Domjan Savanichik taking on Dominic Esterer. I loved how this started. These guys came out wailing at each other. Now, the main reason is that Savanichik wanted the quick knockout. Savanichik wanted to come out and take Esterer down. Esterer, though, he was prepared for this. He pretty much stepped back, didn't run back, didn't try to avoid it. He accepted that Savanichik was coming in hard, and he just gave him a shot, a hard shot, knocked him down 3 times in the first minute, and won by TKO. Look, I love guys when they're like, oh, damn it, I'm coming in here and I'm taking this guy's head off. But when you have no strategy at all, other than I'm going to swing blindly and rage like a bull that the matador's waving the flag at, I mean, that can work sometimes. Sometimes you catch somebody sleeping. Sometimes you get a guy who ain't ready for that, and you get a big win that way. And that's what I'm thinking Savanichik was hoping for. But nah, didn't happen. Esterer saw it coming, sidestepped, used some good defense, knocked this Savanichik around. Dominic Esterer knocked him around so badly within the first 60 seconds. Bam, down, out. Now, is that the kind of fight I want to see all the time? Hell no. Just a total blowout here. Just completely wiped him off the map. But after the last 2 fights, I wasn't sleepy anymore, and I knew Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship was still exciting. And it was good to see it in that situation. Next up was Dusan Radovic taking on Stefan Doborovic. I think I'm getting these names down. I struggle a little bit, guys, but I'm getting to it. I'm getting them. Radovic was more aggressive in round 1, but it was a very hard left hand from Doborovic that didn't set him down, didn't knock him down, but sort of set the pace. That doesn't make sense. How can one shot set the pace? What I mean is Radovic was definitely aggressive, coming forward, trying to be the man, trying to be the pace setter, but a big left hand from Doborovic, even though it didn't knock him out, knock him down, was what made you go, whoo, damn, right at the end of the round. So no matter how much the pace was set, he didn't get a whole lot of offense in. Radovic didn't. Doborovic got a lot of offense in with 1 strike at the end of that round. Doborovic seems to fight from a distance because Radovic allows it. He's just standing there in round 2. Just standing there, letting Doborovic fight from a distance. Doborovic seems to want to fight from a distance because it's being allowed, right? So that's how this is going. Hard to call who's winning this, though, other than that 1 left shot, because nobody's dominating or hitting anything huge. Radovic with a big flurry at the start of round 3. round 3 starts. Ding, ding. Here we go. Here comes Radovich out with a giant, just, just big. Now, it didn't hurt Deborovich too bad. Yeah, they struck him, and yeah, he was taken aback by it, and I don't think he was expecting it. But at the same time, I really suspect Radovich exhausted himself. Either that or he got counterstruck so hard that he pretty much was done then. And Deborovich just pounded on him and knocked him down and out. So one or two or both of these things happened here, okay? Radovich came out with a flurry in round 3. I'm going to try to knock this son of a bitch out. Instead, he gets knocked out because he just went so hard for the first 30, 45 seconds. Or he was also counterpunched during that flurry one time. But one time, good enough, can be all it takes, right? And that is all it took because he went down, and Stefan Dorovic is your winner. No doubt about that. He knocks out Radovich, and Stefan Dorovic wins the fight. Pretty good stuff, I thought. So 2 in a row that were pretty solid, pretty good, that I very much enjoyed after those 2 kind of snooze fests. Okay, the final fight of the night, because unfortunately, guys, at the end of this fight that we're going to talk about here, this wasn't the main event. It ended up being the final match. The winds picked up. They were howling pretty good. If you watch this, you'll see that. At the end of this, the lights go out before they can hold the winner's arm up. They still announce it, but you can't see anything. It's pitch black. The storms are picking up big time. They had to cancel the last 2 fights of the show, which is unfortunate. So this 9th fight in BUDVA on 8/30/2025 was the final match. We had Dylan Prsovic taking on Lasha Ronishvili. The fight started with Ronishvili egging Provac on. Now, this Ronishvili is a big old guy. He's like, I think they said he was 8-2 in bare knuckle. This is his first time in bare knuckle fighting championship. He's from Russia. There are tons. And when I say tons, there has to be 4 or 5 bare knuckle companies in Russia. I've watched a lot of them. I'm not going to remember. There's Prime. There's Top Dog. There's a couple others. They're probably the 2 that I'm most familiar with. Prime, Top Dog. And not in Russia, but very close by, there's Clan in Ukraine. So I'm not exactly sure where Ronishvili fought. Lasha Ronishvili. He's a jack guy, not super jack, but pretty big, pretty large guy. Looks like a pro wrestler or something. He's out there egging Przovic to bring it on. He's like, he wants to brawl. Przovic's like, get the hell away from me. You know, I will take you apart with the sweet science, which is what he does. He just bides his time and takes his shots, and it doesn't take long till the brawler Ronishvili goes down on his face. He looks like he's asleep. He's not, but he's embarrassed or something, man. I don't want to piss this dude off in case I ever encounter him in a live fight. But let me tell you what, this guy is out. He gets to his knees, but doesn't get up. This ends quickly. This is a fast fight. The 8-2 bare knuckle fighter goes down because he's in one of the biggest, best bare knuckle companies in the world now, not one of these Russian ones. And no offense, I've watched some of them. I don't always cover them, but I watched them. It's bare knuckle. Why the hell not? But he wanted to brawl. And Przovic knows how to fight and fight right. And he knocks the brawler out. And that'll happen every time. If the non-brawler, if the boxer doesn't fall for the brawler's head games, like, let's just get in the middle here and start swinging. Okay? That'll happen every time. Guys, this was a decent show. Not the best. Unfortunately, the semi-main and the main had to be canceled. That hurt it. The one's complete snooze fest, and the ladies fight where all they did was fight chest to chest took something away from it. This is probably going to be one of the lowest rating bare knuckle fighting championships I'm going to give a score to. That score is 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I mean, taking some points away for those 2 boring fights and some points away for the inability, even though it wasn't technically their fault. They chose to have this outside. That's a risk you take. And without the semi-main and the main, it just made it less interesting. It just did, whether it's bare knuckle fighting championship's fault or not. It made it a little less interesting, no matter how good some of the other fights were. I'm still happy with having watched it. I will watch every bare knuckle fighting championship show. 90% of the time, they're going to be a high rating. And 7 out of 10 isn't like, it's still passing, you know what I mean? It's like your average show, 7 out of 10. So I don't want to sit here and defend my ratings, but that's just the truth. But I'm Adam Lavelle of KnuckleTFUp.com. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. Just click on the subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll be back with more bare knuckle and once in a while some glove promotions discussion before you know it.